Her name was Henrietta Lacks. She died in 1951. She was a mother, a wife, and a Black woman from Virginia. What she didn't know, what she was never told, is that her cells were taken without her consent. Those cells would go on to become immortal, and yet her family didn't find out for decades. Let's talk about the HeLa legacy and the exploitation behind medical progress. Henrietta Lacks was just 31 years old when she walked into Johns Hopkins Hospital with intense pain. She had cervical cancer, diagnosed and treated at one of the few hospitals that would see Black patients in segregated Baltimore. But when Henrietta didn't know was that during her treatment, doctors took samples of her tumor without her permission. That tissue, those cells, were handed off to a researcher named George Gay, and they changed the course of science. Until Henrietta's cells, scientists had been unable to keep human cells alive outside the body. But Henrietta's, they didn't just survive, they multiplied endlessly. Her cells were the first immortal human cell line. They were named HeLa, short for Henrietta Lacks. HeLa cells became the building block of the polio vaccine, chemotherapy, gene mapping, IVF, and yes, even COVID-19 research. But her name wasn't public, her family wasn't informed. Her cells were sent around the globe, while her kids didn't have health insurance. Medical companies have made billions using HeLa cells. Pharmaceutical giants patented them. Universities published research. Entire biotech startups were built on them. Yet, Henrietta's family, her descendants, were never compensated. For decades, they didn't even know her cells had been taken. When they did find out, they weren't invited to the table. They were studied, not partnered with. This is not just a case of scientific oversight. This is a story of how Black bodies have been harvested for profit under the banner of progress. The story of Henrietta Lacks is a story of non consensual experimentation, of racialized assumptions in medicine, and of power hoarded by the gatekeepers of science. Black women were seen as subjects, not patients. Consent was optional. Ethics were flexible for them. We've seen this before. Tuskegee, forced sterilizations, J. Marion Sims torturing enslaved women to develop gynecology. Henrietta's story isn't the exception, it's the pattern. In 2013, the NIH finally gave Henrietta's family limited control over access to her genome data. It took until 2023 for them to reach a confidential settlement with Thermo Fisher Scientific, a company still profiting off HeLa cells. But here's the truth. The apology came late. The consent never came. The wealth never trickled down. And the distrust in medicine, it's earned. We owe Henrietta more than flowers. We owe her justice, transparency, and reparative action. Henrietta Lacks' legacy lives in every vaccine, every treatment, every lab across the world. But her name was nearly erased because acknowledging her would mean confronting the truth. Say her name, tell her story, and demand a future for Black bodies aren't sacrificed for white profits. If you've ever learned something from me, please support the work that makes this possible. This isn't just content, it's curation, education, and legacy building. My link tree is in my bio. Stay informed and stay safe.